Hey, what's going on there, folks? We're getting ready to start on the Slingshot here. I've got it in the vise. In case you guys didn't get to see it, we'll just pull this out here real quick. Yes, it is big. There's a lot to it, but like I said, I'm going to get it down to a point. I'd rather be able to take material off than not have material to take off. So I've seen a lot of different videos on how to do this, and I really don't know where to begin, but I'm just going to begin and go from there. So I'm going to start by trying to get this level, and what I'm thinking about is flattening the top edge and then the bottom edge, and across here too. Like I said, I want to keep the integrity of the button here, hopefully to be able to use it for stability. If not, I'll take it off and get it out of the way, but let's get this in here and see. Now, I've seen where a lot of people have used a saw to kind of cut this down. I'm not too sure. I don't have a good saw at the moment for cuts like that. I might end up having to go get one. No big deal, but for now, I got this 4-in-1 wood rasp, and yeah, it might be too small for the job. You probably need a bigger one to get you some nice long strokes to clear this off, but we're going to give it a try with this. And I think what I'm going to do is throw a glove on in case I bang my knuckles on the vise here. And here we go. So it's working. It's working. Actually, I'm going to go something with a little bit heavier tooth on it. That was a kind of a finer tooth there. Let me show you this up close there. So that's what I was using, and I think I might go to a heavier grit one. I got two choices here. I think this one's the heaviest one, so let's give that a try. Oh yeah, just nice. Like I said, I'm trying to preserve the integrity of that button there right now. And I've got some little nubs here. Take these off. Those came off nicely. Whew, this is going to wear me out. Now I see why they saw it. But yeah, nothing like a little exercise couldn't hurt. Excuse the rattling noise. This is a workbench, so I'm probably going to get some. I apologize for that. Yeah, looks like I got myself a phone call here from Colin Kincaid at Kincaid Outdoors, so if you'll bear with me and pause for a moment, let's get this call. Alright, and we're back. Just like I said, got off the call with Colin there talking about this. I wanted to run some things by him, but we're back at it, so we're going to continue on here. I did a little bit of shaping here down this part of the beam to see how it was going to look. I'm still working on keeping that nub there, but I'm trying to bring it, like I said, the whole surface down some. That way I can get away from this dead part of the nub, and I'll actually have something that's a little more hardwood. So get some more good. Like I said, my length is probably too long right now, and especially from here, and I probably won't go any further than this point right here that I've already filed up to, and then I'll figure out my angle for cutting these shorter, because I really don't need all that length to it. But I do like this. It's allowing me to control the angle and everything, especially around this nub here. And notice I took the gloves off. I wasn't having any problems with the hitting the vise here, so that helps. Like I said, this would go a lot faster if I actually used a saw to cut it down, but this is my first one, and I really want to control the amount that I take off, and not have to worry about coming back to it and saying, oh, I took too much off. So, tempted to use the flat side. One side is more rounded than the other, and this side is a flat side. I think I'll go with the flat side. It's shaping up nicely. And by the way, I am collecting the sawdust that comes off of this. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but I wanted to keep that so that I can use it in a later video. Probably make some fire starters out of it, or I may even need to use it to, as a little packing, because I did notice maybe a critter has bored a hole here in it, and I want to be able to fill that in, so we'll probably mix up a little sawdust and wood glue and pack that in there. But alright, we'll be back in a little bit, and I'll show you the progress on it. Got a long ways to go, folks, but we'll get her done. Well, guys, I've been working at it for a little while. It's exhausting work, but I'm starting to take some shape here. Give you a little closer look at it. Doesn't look quite like the chunk that it used to be. See, I still got my little nub on there, and it fits just perfectly in my hand. I think I'm going to call this the big boy slingshot, because it's definitely a big one. But length is still a bit long on here, and I'm not so sure about the length here. I think one side is still a little bit too tall, so I'm going to have to work on that a little bit. But been a fun project. It's interesting how it took shape, and I did run into where some little pockets, which I got one to work on right here. I'll show you. You can see that, not too bright, but I don't know whether I'll just leave that as patina or just gonna maybe work it out. I'm probably gonna shrink this down a little bit more, so it's a little bit smaller in the hand, but it feels good. Yeah. So, and then like I said, we're gonna cut this down, but it was easier so that when I put it in the vise that I could pinch this back here as opposed to up here and leave big gouges inside it. So, all right, well, we're taking a break. We'll catch you on the next one. Hey, what's going on there, folks? We're back, and I'm still working away at this monstrosity, but it's been fun. I actually kind of enjoy this kind of stuff. Right now, I was in the process. Probably should have kicked the camera on sooner, but I was in the process of making these little grooves here so that I can strap the bands down to them, and they'll kind of have a little resistance from pulling out. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Let me pull this out here. Give you a close-up look-see here. What we got going. Forgive the light for being so bright, but that's what happens when you get the fluorescence going on. But again, I preserved the nub there, and I don't know if you can see it. I have created nice little grooves here for the fingers, and they fit in them just perfect. And yes, it's big, and I call this the big boy. This is for taking down squatches and things like that, you know. You never know. Corn monkeys, you know, those guys, yeah, you got to get after them. But all right, I'm going to get back to doing a little filing here. I'll let you kind of watch a little bit, and then we'll probably wrap up the video for now and save good stuff for later. Oh, wow. I got to the point where now I got to put it in the vise in this. That way I don't damage or crush or over compress or anything like that. But I even picked up another set over at the old Harbor Freight of some files, and that's actually, I mean, it's not something that's high end. These, I think these are like 12, 13 bucks, and I got, you know, a big package of these files. But the nice thing is, it's got the handle on it, but you can take it off and put it on the next one. Actually, I've been using this one a lot here, and I just smack it in there. But what I've been working on right now, like I said, is this slot here. And actually, this is one of the heavier, you know, bigger toothed files that I was using, so kind of switched down to the finer one for this kind of work. Got the groove going on over here. It is kind of difficult to get just that right tightness, so like I said, I don't damage the handle part there. I'm able to get this in there and keep it moving, to keep it from rocking up and down. I don't know if it needs to be rounded, but I figured if it's rounded and I wrap my bands around it, they'll kind of collapse in on each other and give even more strength. So, but I think we're set on that. It really is coming along beautifully. All right, well, come back when we've got more done.